Hello, hey, this is Sue with Explore More with Sue, and I am currently in Sisimiut, Greenland. We have been on a 10-night cruise from Reykjavik, Iceland, and we've gone to a bunch of different places in Greenland. Sadly, our cruise is ending tomorrow. We are all very, very sad to leave. It's been absolutely fantastic. We're on the Atlas World Voyager, and Atlas is a relatively new cruise line. They really started sailing after the pandemic, and they've got 3 ships. Again, we're on the World Voyager. We departed on August 9th from Reykjavik, and today's the 18th. We get to our final destination tomorrow, the 19th of August, and then we fly from Greenland back to JFK, and that charter flight is included in the price. So let's get to it. Let's talk about Atlas, because a lot of you may not have ever heard of Atlas. Some of you may have heard of it but don't know much about it, and let me see if I can fill you in a little bit. This ship is beautiful. There's 3 ships, as I mentioned. This ship is absolutely beautiful. It is a small ship. It holds about 200 people. We have 168 sailing with us on this voyage. So obviously it's a very different experience when you've only got 200 people or less than it is when there are 6,000 people. Nothing is better or worse, but it's just different. And the ship is beautifully designed. It is it's just easy to navigate around, but there's enough space that you can always find someplace that's empty if you want to. Because this is a Arctic cruise, in fact we're above the Arctic Circle right now, it has we haven't spent a ton of time outside on our balconies or by the pool. I haven't ever seen anybody in the pool. There have been people in the hot tubs occasionally, but this is it's a polar expedition cruise, so something about expedition cruises, you need to be very flexible because sometimes the schedule changes. You need to be relatively mobile. There aren't a lot of people on this ship though who have mobility issues, and they seem to have been able to get everything's been on a Zodiac, everything except for when we left Reykjavik. So anytime we stopped in a port, and we've had 3 different ports in Greenland, you get there by Zodiac. So you need to be able to get up and down stairs to a platform to get into the Zodiac, and then get out of the Zodiac at shore, and then reverse it on the way back. But the crew has been excellent with assisting people with mobility issues, so it hasn't seemed to slow people down much. I mean, they wouldn't necessarily be doing the long hikes, but they certainly, if you have mobility issues and you can get into a Zodiac, you will have a fantastic time, because the Zodiacs are times in the Zodiacs, and Zodiacs are rafts. That's been our favorite part of this whole trip. We've seen glaciers, we've been in fjords, we've seen icebergs, we've seen whales, we've seen dolphins, we've seen a swimming caribou. Some people saw a musk ox. So it's been, expedition cruising is a different animal for sure, and it happens to be one of my favorites. I love expedition cruising. So and I'm sitting undercover, otherwise I'd be outside, but but it's raining. It's clearly gray outside, but it's raining right now, so I'm sitting outside by the pool and the hot tubs. So this, like I said, it's a beautiful ship. There's 1 dining area that you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast and lunch are buffets. Dinner is, but for breakfast and lunch you can actually order off the menu if you would prefer. Dinner is menu. You order off the menu. There's been a nice variety every night. They've got, they've got some plant-based selections that have been pretty decent. I wouldn't say it's the best plant-based experience that I've ever had, but I have definitely not gone hungry. It's a cruise, so I have not gone hungry. They have beautiful itineraries, by the way. Atlas has some excellent itineraries. They specialize in the polar regions, so Arctic during the summer, during the northern hemisphere summer, Antarctica during the southern hemisphere summer. So, but there are others in between that that you can choose from as well. Let's talk about the stateroom. Stateroom is beautiful. It's big. It's well designed. There are plenty of outlets. The bathroom is a nice big bathroom. The shower is one of the best showers we've ever seen. The balcony, well, it's not one of the best showers we've ever seen, but it's one of the best showers that we've ever had on a ship. The balconies are large, and we actually spent a fair amount of time out on our balcony, not necessarily sitting, but watching the icebergs go by. And it doesn't get dark up here this time of year until about 11:30 p.m. and then it gets light very early in the morning. So we've had some beautiful sunsets. So it's been great to have a balcony, even though it's not very warm. They do give you, on these expedition cruises, they do give you a beautiful polar rated jacket, and I'm wearing the vest that comes with it. So there's a vest underneath it that zips out, and then the polar jacket is over the top, and it is beautifully designed, and it would get you through a very long cold winter if that's what you're going to need it for. Anyway, the staterooms are large. There's lots of storage. There's a mini bar, that's all included. The food, let's talk about the food for a moment. The food has been excellent. There is one dining room. Everybody eats in there. There's a snack bar. It's called Paula's Pantry, and it's open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. It has sandwiches, wellness shots, fresh juices, cookies, oatmeal bars. It's great because a lot of times, if you've cruised before, you get back on board, and yes, okay, you eat a ton on a cruise, but it might be 4 p.m. and you want something to eat, but there isn't anything to eat. And Paula's Pantry fills that space for always having something available between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. The food, let's go back to the dining room. For the buffets, they have the best selection of fresh fruit I have ever seen on a ship, ever, on a cruise ship, ever. Most cruise ships, for fresh fruit, they do have fresh fruit, but it's usually a banana, pineapple, and some kind of melon. That's usually it. This ship has had passion fruit, it's had fresh strawberries, it's had star fruit, it has had, plums, pears. It's in addition to the melon and the pineapple and the bananas and the green apples, but the fruit has been amazing. It has been the best selection of fruit I have ever seen on a cruise ship, of fresh fruit. There are tons of a variety of nuts and things to put on. They have a great salad bar, one of the best salad bars I've ever seen at sea. They've got hummus, tzatziki, guacamole at every meal. They have a ton of nuts and sesame seeds and stuff to sprinkle on top of whatever it is you're eating, and that is a rarity on cruise ships. I am a huge nut fan. That is my favorite snack, and oftentimes nuts are really rancid on cruise ships, if they even have. A lot of times they don't, but they've managed to figure it out here on Atlas with the toppings. The desserts are excellent. They have a lot of variety of the juices are fresh. They have a variety of different drinks, wellness shots, that kind of stuff. It is just, the variety is really, really excellent. It's a little bit repetitive for breakfast, but lunch has been, but it's great for breakfast. But they haven't changed it up much for breakfast. But there's plenty of stuff for you to eat. They have a fresh omelet bar every morning. It's great. Overall, the food has been really good. With the plant-based stuff has left a little bit to be desired, but it's been fantastic. Anyway, the drinks in the bar are absolutely outstanding. There are so many options, and almost all of them are included. Most of the time when you have a drink package, they upcharge you for certain things. I haven't seen anybody getting upcharged. Maybe they do, but the drinks are included. And not only do they have a huge variety of blended drinks, mixed drinks, wine. Their beer selection isn't that great, but they've got a ton of different non-alcoholic drinks too. So if alcohol isn't your thing, the non-alcoholic drinks are amazing too. There is a huge variety of those. There are, and dining. Okay, so for dining, there are 2 times, at least on this ship, on this expedition ship. One is at 7:30 and one is at 8, and you are assigned based on your group. So they have divided all of us into 4 groups, where we take the zodiac, and it was group A, B, C, and D. Group A will take the zodiac first on Monday, group B will be first on Tuesday, and they rotate, and then they rotate for dinner time. So dinner is either at 7:30 or 8, and so you show up with your group. And I mean, you don't have to eat with your group, but that's how they divide it, so not everybody gets to the dining room at the same time, and it works really, really well. There is a daily recap of what has happened that day in the theater every afternoon, and then there will be along with the recap, there will be, hey, this is what we're doing tomorrow. And again, as I mentioned earlier, with expedition cruising, you really have to be flexible, because a lot of things can change based on weather, based on icebergs. There are a lot of reasons things can change. So you definitely have to be flexible. But we have seen this is such an amazing place, and we did have a few changes that were made, but the Atlas has been amazing with figuring it all out and making sure everybody has had, I think we've had a better experience probably than if it had gone according to plan. So it's good to be flexible though when you are doing expedition cruising. The expedition staff is excellent. It is very, very well organized on this ship at this particular time. We've never had to wait for a Zodiac, and we've taken Zodiacs everywhere. We have never docked except in Reykjavik. So we have never had to wait for a Zodiac getting to the town, getting back to the ship, or getting in the Zodiacs and going out to explore. So it's been extremely well organized. The expedition crew, as I mentioned, is excellent, incredibly knowledgeable. There's a variety of backgrounds that they have, and it's been great. The entertainment here is they have a singer and a piano player who also plays the guitar, and then the cruise director is a singer and dancer. So there's been something every single night. There was a cruise show last night, so the crew gets up and they perform. But all of the other nights, one night the cruise director did Broadway, because he's been on Broadway before. They have dance parties. They have all sorts of stuff in the evening after dinner. Upstairs in this cool place called the Dome, and it's at the very front of the ship, floor-to-ceiling windows, 270-degree views as you sail along. There's a bar there, and it's just an incredible place to stay, to go sit. They've got all sorts of games, jigsaw puzzles, games. There's not an official library, but there are books kind of scattered around the room, so there are all sorts of books that you can read if you want to do that. Deck 7, also you can go out in the front, so you can stand right in the front of the ship. You can also go all the way out to the very front of the bow, the front of the ship, on a different deck, lower deck as well. And you can also go all the way back to the back deck and look over the wake in the back. That's on deck 4. And deck 5, you can see it there. It's just, like I said, it's really, really well designed. The Atlas Lounge is also another meeting place. It's on deck 4. There are a few, there's been trivia and some meetings there. That's where you meet for your Zodiacs. They come around in the afternoon for happy hour, and along with your drinks, they have trays full of food. Upstairs in the Dome, they have tea, afternoon tea, and they usually serve food with it. Yesterday they were serving fresh made crepes. You will not go hungry on this cruise. And they've kind of it seems like they've thought of everything. The only negative I can say is their Wi-Fi. Their Wi-Fi, the included Wi-Fi, only allows you to WhatsApp text. That's the only thing that you can do with it, and that is included. If you want Wi-Fi to be able to send photos or make a phone call or email or anything that's more than just WhatsApp texting, you have to pay for it. And you can buy a cruise long package, or you can pay for it on a daily basis. It's $30 a day. That, to me, it's a negative in a way, because it's not the best Wi-Fi in the world. However, the positive is that because there's really no Wi-Fi unless you buy it, everybody's not on their phones all the time, which no one should be on their phone all the time, because we're in the poles. You're in Greenland, and but when you want to stay in touch, you might have to buy the package or pay for daily Wi-Fi when you need it. So to me, that's really more of a negative than a positive, but we're making lemonade out of lemons on that one. There also is a walking track upstairs right above me on deck 8. It is 12 times around for a mile. So if you want to walk or run, that is available as well. It will just take you a long time to get to a mile. They also have this really cool thing right when you get on board, the night you get on board, called Meet Your Neighbor. And at a certain time, because it's a small ship, everybody goes out in the hall. They bring around champagne and juice, and you get to meet the people who are staying in the staterooms next to you. So that's really cool, because you meet them the first night, and then you see them the rest of the time, because this is such a small ship. You're seeing everybody, and you get to know people. So that is a very, very cool thing that they do. I'm traveling with the group. There's 6 of us, and we all really, really appreciated that. Let's talk about Greenland for a moment. Greenland is absolutely, incredibly, fantastically gorgeous. We are in southern Greenland. We start on the east coast. Now we're going up the west coast. We don't go to northern Greenland. I'm sure it's just as fantastic as this part is, but giant granite peaks covered with glaciers, icebergs floating by, going up fjords. It is absolutely mind-blowing how beautiful this part of the world is. It is beautiful. It's unspoiled. The largest city is Nuuk. Nuuk is the capital, and it's the largest city, and there are about 25,000 people who live there. Sisimiut, we're here today, it's the second largest city. It's 5,500 people. So there are not many people who live here. It's pretty inhospitable, but somehow the people who live here manage to get by, and they are doing it, pretty well. If you're not familiar with Greenland, it is a colony of Denmark, and they speak Greenlandic here. So, and there are a lot of things that are not in English, but tons of people speak English here. So if you don't speak Greenlandic, which most of you probably don't, it's easy to get around and ask questions. People are super friendly. It's just been a great place to be. So happy to have seen this part of the world. I've been not everywhere, but I've been quite a few places, and this ranks right up there with sheer awe-inspiring beauty. It is an amazing place. So overall, well, not overall, just yes, we've had a fantastic time. There really has been no negative at all with this cruise, this ship, the crew, the whole experience, the places that we've gone. It has been a fantastic, fantastic experience. None of us want to leave. All of us would definitely come back again to Atlas for sure. It's all of our first time on this cruise line. We would all come back to Atlas. and we're hoping that it'll be sooner rather than later. So it's great. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at exploremorewithsue@gmail.com, or you can send a comment here. Put a comment here and I will respond back to you. I do have a packing list for polar expeditions. If you'd like me to email you that, I can send that to you. But it's been fabulous. We are so lucky to have seen this lovely, gorgeous part of the world. And the world is small if you make it small. That's kind of a thing. In fact, one of the people we were traveling with was at a waterfall in Reykjavik before we left on the ship, and he ran into somebody he works with in California. So the world is small if you make it small, and the next adventure awaits. Thanks for watching.